Here's an unpopular opinion. It is not the responsibility of the lender to determine how much house you, the buyer, can afford. And guess who? The responsible person is you. It is your responsibility. So let's get together to determine how much house you can afford. Let's start by evaluating your financial stability. Let's start with reviewing your finances and evaluating your employment status. First of all, let's assess your savings. Savings can be used as a down payment towards the cost of buying the house. Down payment ranges between 3% and 20% of the loan amount. However, there are several 0% down payment programs. Sometimes it is advantageous to have a little of a down payment. Closing costs are typically between 2% and 6% of amount of the mortgage, of the loan amount. Closing costs consist of lender fees, title insurance, a survey, attorney fees, etc. Inspections, moving expenses, and appraisal costs all vary. However, please don't forget to include them in the cost of buying your home. Emergency funds. It is often encouraged to have 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses as an emergency fund. I'll go in detail on what defines monthly expenses in future slides. An emergency fund can also help reduce defaulting on the mortgage. And of course, there is almost no such thing as job stability. However, you may have the insight to the stability of your current job. Have you been hearing about potential layoffs, cutbacks, or downsizing? Evaluate how quickly you'll be able to recover if so. Is there a backup plan? This is the information that the loan officers won't have privy to. After you've reviewed your finances and employment, it's time to determine affordability and budget. These are items that should be included in your monthly calculations. The mortgage company focuses on mortgage, taxes, insurance, and PMI. However, there's so much more to consider. Some examples are maintenance and like lawn care and repairs, utilities, and I haven't even mentioned the fun things like entertainment. Please note HOA, PMI, and taxes vary per location. Here is an example of how to organize and create a monthly tracker to determine how much house you can afford. The left side includes costs that are included within your mortgage. Again, use the information that is applicable to your situation. This is merely an example. But in this example, monthly mortgage payment includes principal and interest with an escrow for property, taxes, and insurance, totaling $2,000. On the right, you'll see a detailed breakdown of monthly bills under the monthly salary, $4,500. The salary is take-home pay, money received after deductions are taken out. And if you're thinking, but wait, the mortgage company automatically does that because they perform a debt-to-income analysis. And you would be right. Debt-to-income percentage is used by the lender. Debt-to-income percentage is used by the lender to assess the buyer's ability to pay the mortgage. This is when the lender uses total monthly expenses divided by the gross monthly income. They then receive a percentage and apply to their individual lending requirements. Note, individual lending requirements vary. However, there's a huge gap the lender's debt-to-income calculation misses. One of them would be the gross income versus the net income. The lender uses gross pay, which is the earnings before money is taken out. And in our example, we'll use net pay, which is the money that hits your deposit. Another difference is that DTI does not include utilities, groceries, clothing, entertainment, fuel, insurance, health insurance, auto premiums, child care, etc., and there's much, much more. This is costs that you are privy to for self-analysis to determine if you can afford the home, and it's not included in the DTI. As we revisit our monthly payment worksheet, we can see that our monthly take-home pay is $4,500 after and total debt is $3,190. In this example, the salary is greater than the bills. You could at least afford a mortgage that would total $2,000 with a bit of cushion actually. Please note and consider adding savings, investment fund, and maintenance fund to your debit column. Oh, but wait, there's more. Now that we have determined that we can afford this home, we also must plan for the future of our mortgage. Hope for the best, but plan for the worst. We should do this by preparing for future mortgage increases. In this spreadsheet, I've calculated a 2% rate increase in the years ahead on each item except PMI. PMI is showing a 2% decrease as PMI decreases over the years. As you can see, the difference between 2026 and 2028 is over $300 per month, which is over $3,700 increase in 2 years. This can create a surprise if not planned for in advance. Also keep in mind that this mock spreadsheet, does not include the increases that will happen in utilities and auto insurance and groceries as well. This should be considered an affordability decision to avoid payment shock year after year. In summary, understanding the nature of mortgages, evaluating your financial stability, and accurately determining affordability are crucial steps before committing to a mortgage. Careful consideration of these key factors ensures a sustainable financial commitment and helps you make informed decisions about home ownership. To stay abreast on all things that's happening within the Blue House, follow at the Blue House on YouTube as well as IG. And all things real estate, follow Danique RE Investment on Facebook. And please stay tuned. There is so much more to come. Thank you.